a.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network.
I'm Will Salva, and welcome back to Good Morning Football. And we start in Carolina, where the newest corner of theirs, Stephon Gilmore, showed up at the Panthers practice facility on Thursday. He is expected to play once he comes off the PUP list Week 7 against the Giants. There's more good news coming out of Carolina as running back Christian McCaffrey was limited in practice for a second straight day as he recovers from a hamstring injury. He says he feels great and believes he has a chance to play on Sunday against the Eagles. Meanwhile, in Minnesota, running back Dalvin Cook did not practice for the second day in a row as he deals with an ankle injury. Cook still thinks he has a chance to play against the Lions, but today's practice will be crucial for Cook. If he can't go, Alexander Mattison would get the start again like he did in Week 3 when he ran for 112 yards in the win over the Seahawks. Ravens QB Lamar Jackson not on the injury report, but has been dealing with that back injury. Head coach John Harbaugh saying Jackson isn't 100%, to which Jackson replied, Harbaugh's right, he's actually 101%. But don't look for Lamar to wear any extra equipment to try and protect himself.
After some of the hits he took in Denver, especially that late hit in the back on the touchdown pass.
Okay, yeah.
Is there any thought about, kind of wearing more pads if you're going to be in the pocket more and be more, susceptible to kind of those kind of hits in the pocket?
Nah, not really. I feel like if I put on extra padding and stuff like that, I'll be looking like a transformer or something. And I don't want to be slowed down.
So we know Megatron's already been taken. Maybe it's Bumblebee, maybe it's Optimus Prime, maybe it's Blur, the fastest Autobot on land, or maybe Kyle and Hammer, maybe it's Cliff Jumper. What do we think? Is that a possibility?
Well, we talked to Calvin Johnson about this recently, and he said, I like being the bad guy on the field. So Hammer was just saying maybe Lamar could be who?
Starscream?
Starscream, another Decepticon. We're going to go with that, Will. Thank you very, very much. He's a star. He makes us scream. It's that type of thing. You keep hearing us say Hammer, and that is about our guy right here, Hammer. This is Matthew Hamilton. Matthew, say hello. This is the guy who's been with us since day one. August 2016, he is the Good Morning Football producer, football at Missouri. Now you're coaching high school football. What's your record right now?
We're 3-1 right now at New Rochelle High School.
3-1 at New Row. He knows more about football than anybody in the world. He has breathed so much life into so many segments for us, and now he's going to do it for you because it's time for Hammer Time by DraftKings Sportsbook. This guy is going to give you his thoughts on some of those tasty plays that DraftKings has to offer. Hammer, you ready?
I hope I can live up to that.
Let's go, baby. Come on.
Slap on the tush. Well, today, I have my eyes on one of the most intense rivalries that this league has to offer as the Giants head down to Dallas to take on the Cowboys this weekend.
Okay.
We know Dak Prescott and the Cowboys offense are going to put up big numbers, but I'm going to show you why I think Daniel Jones and the Giants could actually keep pace.
No way. Here we go. Giants. This guy knows.
Hear me out.
The presence. Talk about Danny Dimes.
I don't think Daniel Jones' 400-yard performance last week against the Saints was fluky. I know there are trust issues with him given his history, but I think we'll see some bigger numbers from him going forward because he finally has the personnel to set him up for success. Let's take a look at why they were so successful last week against the Saints.
Okay.
Let's start with Daniel's first touchdown. There's John Ross on the outside, just pure speed. Look, the Saints have two deep defenders. He's just going to split them. There's only a few guys in the league that have this type of speed to just blow past two deep defenders like that. And Daniel Jones is a great deep ball thrower, too. I think that's his best trait. John Ross really helps accentuate that and puts him in the best position. So we saw the speed. Now let's check out the size. Here's Kenny Golladay at the bottom. He's going to run a slant. It's 3rd and 7, less than a minute to go in the game. He's going to just steamroll Malcolm Jenkins after he catches this ball and pick up 28. This sets up the game-tying field goal for the Giants that end up sending it into overtime. And then Kadarius Toney. We can't see this play enough.
Favorite play.
I love it.
The shiftiness.
Kid's crazy.
To have a guy that you can get the ball to 3 yards off the line of scrimmage and just have him make this many people miss.
I need to put him in number 1.
It's unbelievable.
So good.
And then the versatility. Saquon lined up at receiver, up against Marshawn Lattimore. Lattimore's peeking at the out. Saquon just runs right by him.
Respect that running back out there.
Has those natural hands, and then once he's in the open field, you're not catching him.
I know.
So speed, size, elusiveness, and versatility.
Okay.
These are all things that Daniel Jones did not have at his disposal last year with his weapons. And now Jason Garrett is figuring out how to use them, and I think that's going to carry over to Sunday. Not to mention that while the Cowboys defense has improved, they're still giving up over 300 yards a game to every quarterback they face this year. Look at that. Brady, Herbert, even Jalen Hurts and Sam Darnold put up over 300 yards against this secondary. So I went over to DraftKings Sportsbook. They actually have a special on this game, setting the line on Dak Prescott and Daniel Jones' combined passing yards at 549.5 plus 125 odds on the over. So that's essentially 275 yards for each guy. With what I just showed you on Daniel Jones and what we all know Dak is capable of, I think that's an intriguing number. What do you guys think?
549.5 is the number?
Yeah.
I'm worried about it, Hammer, because it seems obvious to me. Like, Dak's going to get his 300, and then what? Daniel Jones going to need 250? This seems to be jump on this.
Yeah, see, I think the thing, Daniel Jones hadn't thrown for over 260 in a game before last weekend against the Saints, so I think people are still a little
Well, so how do they figure it out, like in the second half against the Saints? Like, it's all pretty, and like, let's hit John Ross and look at Kenny Galladay. How do we know that's going to continue? Because I don't know what to make of the Saints team.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jason Garrett was getting a feel for how to put these guys in the best position. And
You
I
trust
think
him?
that's what we saw. I do.
I think you made a great point. You showed Galladay, Tony, Ross, and Saquon, 4 players that he did not have on the field last year. Those are 4 guys who did not play a game. So he's got all these new weapons. I think we can make it work.
I trust Garrett. I just don't.
So the Dolphins have dropped 3 in a row. Woof. Next up, it is their cross-state rival, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. With the latest on this matchup from Woof to Wolf, here's Cameron.
Good morning, Kay. The big storyline last week, Tom Brady versus Bill Belichick. An underrated storyline this week, Tom Brady versus Coach Brian Flores. 15 years together in New England, and Brady said this week that he estimated maybe 1,500 practices they went against one another, and they're both big competitors. So we asked Flores this week, is there anything that you have on Brady that can help you? And he said with a wry smile, there's no confusing that guy. He's seen everything. Maybe a little gamemanship because the Dolphins blitz more than any team in the league, and I expect them to throw a lot of different looks at Brady. This defense will have to carry a big load for a struggling offense that's 31st in total offense and 31st in scoring offense so far this year. Their starting quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, has been out since week 2 with those fractured ribs, and there's optimism he'll return next week versus the Jags, but for this week, it's Jacoby Brissett that'll have to lead the show. So a lot of pressure on that defense, and I asked one of their key members, linebacker Jerome Baker, about Brady, and he said something funny. He said, early in my career, I was starstruck. He was a guy that I played with Madden. But now, I'm just out to ruin his day.
Okay.
Thanks so much, Cameron. Week 5's chock full of great games on Sunday, kicking off at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Jets-Falcons over in London. So let's work through as many as we can and give us your thoughts with a round of Mad Minute. What happens here? Michael Robinson, 60 seconds go on the clock. You guys share that minute to dish out and spit out the biggest things you are looking for. So let's go with that fight for supremacy in Florida as the Dolphins take on the Bucs. This one in Tampa. And you guys heard Cameron Wolf. What are you excited for, Peter?
You know, it's a shame that Miami doesn't have a passing offense right now, because I feel like the 3 of you could play corner and safety, and I could be for the Buccaneers right now.
Don't do them like that.
The Buccaneers are so depleted.
Sherm.
Yeah, Sherman was, hey, people were like knocking Sherman, and the Patriots threw at him. Sherman showed up on Monday and was like, has been sitting on the couch for and he's their #1 corner. So Tampa might have problems with defensive backfield. This is a great matchup for Tampa because the Dolphins, they haven't been able to move the ball through the air. So, Kay, if you're suiting up at strong safety, it might be an upgrade from what Tampa's got. Still might get the win.
All right. Yeah.
Thanks, Peter.
Let's go.
I like this matchup. I look at Tampa Bay. I think offensively, they got to get their run game going. They got to get Leonard Fournette. They got to get the run game going. They only average about 70-something yards, per game. But whenever they get into these high-scoring type games, when they have an offense that their defense can't stop, they got to make sure this run game is ready to go. So I look at this game for Tampa Bay to just get their game right, all right, as they move on.
Go Bucks. 2 seconds. Miami, this is a playoff game for you. Give me something. I don't know if it's a good thing if Tua's coming back, but we're out of time. Don't worry. What goes around?
Look at yours.
Goes around.
I went
My bad.
The Dolphins have only beaten the Bucs once in 30 years.
The Dolphins beat the Bucks once 30 years?
Once in 30 years. It was 2009. Any guesses on the quarterback?
For Miami?
Sage Rosenfels.
I'm gonna say it's Joey Harrington.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Chad Henne.
Henne.
All right. Eagles in Charlotte, Panthers. What are we looking for? 60 seconds. Go.
Sam Darnold, can he continue with that? You know, he's playing well, man. I didn't think when he was with the Jets that he would be able to play this well. And he's the leading rusher with quarterbacks and scoring touchdowns, running touchdowns, right? I didn't think that Sam Darnold would be like that. He has weapons on the outside. I expect a great game from him.
Eagles have to win this game. I said the same about Emmy. This is a playoff game. You don't go 1-4. You can't do that. Like there's been a lot to like about Philly, except they came out and beat the Falcons week 1, and we said, woo, and then they haven't won since, and they know it. Nick Sirianni, give me some sort of boxing metaphor or something right here, because the season is effectively over if you lose this weekend. I'm
Defense
sorry.
is bad, too.
And I think Carolina needs to win this game because they started off 3-0, and we did the celebration here on the show because they did it on a Thursday night against the Texans. Then they got their lunch handed to them against the Cowboys. You can't lose at home to an Eagles team that you are better than on paper, especially if we might see number 22 in the backfield. Christian McCaffrey might be out there.
Hopefully.
They got to win. If they're one of those teams, and we're talking playoffs, Panthers have to win this game.
No Chuba Hubbard mentioned out of you?
No Chuba. I'm going with McCaffrey.
Get the jersey.
They, of course, add Stephon Gilmore. He cannot play. He's on PUP. He can return and be on the field for them to help out their already good defense week 7. The Packers battle it out against the Bengals in Cincinnati. This is a good game. Very intriguing.
Really good game.
Trap game for the Packers?
Let me think about it for a second.
Take your time. I get 2 seconds at the end. It's all.
Packers, Bengals. There's so many ways to go with this game. There's so many ways to go in life, really.